about it right now. Everything's okay. No matter where.
How's it going, guys? My name is Noble and welcome back to the channel, and here we are, episode 2 of Forum Fridays. The first one seemed to take off unexpectedly. Like, I had no idea it would get that much traction, and yes, I know the Comcast example definitely was not the best one I could have used, so you guys can stop, commenting about it. I still hold the same opinion I did last week in regards to that topic. But guys, we're back to another one, and another heavy topic I would add. It seems that everyone on the forum seems to be a lot more toxic than the people that I find in game. Maybe that's true for you, maybe not, I don't know. But this is a pretty, not vague, but like a pretty broad topic that we can talk about. So I'm going to try to sum it up nicely for you. And I want to quickly mention that last week one of the comments was like, hey, you should maybe write a script for these Forum Fridays. I purposely am talking off the cuff in these videos because I don't want to sound like a sellout or like I've just prepped a bunch of points to, tell someone why something is or isn't. I like raw opinions and thoughts. So that's why I'm doing it in this format. I might change it up later, I might not, so I just wanted to get that out there. But guys, without further ado, we're gonna jump right into our second topic here on Forum Fridays, and that is communication between the developers and us. This post was brought up earlier this week, and I'm gonna read it to you, but I also have it on the screen. From what I understood, the second hotfix of this patch were supposed to fix crashes, but the game still crashes. Also have a lot of other problems with the game. No ETA, no plan, no nothing. What kind of business plan is that? At least there's no plan I've been hearing. Has anyone else heard of anything that they can share? The end game is barely holding together. The year of performance fixes has seen worse performance in many areas. It's like ZOS has just given up, stopped all communication, and are like, see you all in 2021, please buy our next DLC, where one of the features is less crashing, which is kind of a funny thing to say. Might just be me, but that's how it feels, to me. But why no communication? Are they embarrassed? So this is a pretty open and shut case for me. I have been definitely on the receiving end of everyone has, of companies not communicating with players, and I will always say more communication is better than little communication. And I know that sounds dumb, but there are some people out there who are like, they'll communicate when they communicate, and we should be grateful that they tell us things. And I don't agree with that whatsoever. I think if you are a company like this, you should be able to communicate with your players very, very frequently. There are smaller games with smaller fan bases that communicate better than these, which you can make the argument, well, they're a big company, so they can't communicate as much, and I don't really agree with that at all, especially when we're talking about an MMO. Do I think that ZOS is embarrassed? Absolutely not. I don't think any of these companies are embarrassed when they don't really talk to us at all or anything, regularly. I do think there's always a reason for secrecy and silence, and I know it's frustrating as a player to not have communication, and it's very easy to think that whoever is on the other end of, our frustration, whether it's ZOS, Blizzard, whatever, we can be frustrated that they don't communicate as much as we would like them to, but there's always a reason. And I can't believe I'm using this as a reference, but I do feel similarly to what this person is saying. I'm a huge Halo fan, and 343 barely communicates with the community, and it's really made me lose interest in Halo because there's no communications, there's no update. We just know that the game keeps getting pushed back, and I've lost interest in that whole game. So it's frustrating and sad, but that was something I could resonate with. Would I ever leave the game over lack of communications? Absolutely not. I would just keep playing because I find it fun. And I think it's a great topic to talk about, considering last week we talked about players being compensated for things not working in the game. If you haven't seen that video, I encourage you to go back and watch it. There'll be a link in the description, and it'll also be in the pinned video at the end. My thoughts are there on what I think about that. I do think we need to have a lot more chatter between the players and developers, because when you over communicate, it is way better than under communicating. It's like any like real life relationship. I think a lot of us at some point in our life can say like, hey, well, I'd love to, communicate more with my significant other so we can be on the same page and not have any misunderstandings and hurt feelings, stuff like that. The same goes for this. If you don't communicate enough, it's to your own detriment, and in this case, as a company. Now, I'm not like a ZOS fanboy. I also don't hate them, but this isn't my first MMO, so I know how these companies, run. And my takeaway from this is, it is what it is. Like, I don't believe they've given up. I don't want to constantly use the whole coronavirus thing has made everything different, because it's like beating a dead horse at this point. But I think it's important to remember that those are the times we're in, when they don't have as much to work with as they would have if they were all, back at their desks, doing what they need to do. But with the way the real world is right now, they don't have all the things that they usually should. So you have to give them some kind of buffer. Now, I have not been playing the game for 7 years, like a lot of you love to tell me in the comment section, so I don't know ZOS's complete history when it comes to player communication. So for me only playing for like 8 or 9 months, and if we're talking about like communication and how I would rate that, I mean, I haven't really been paying attention. I think it's been fine up until recently. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think they need to communicate more, or why are they not communicating? Do you think they are embarrassed? Do you think they're just putting their head down and working? Because it's typical for these kinds of things, if like companies towards the end of the year will bury their head in the sand and work to wow us the beginning of next year. That's, something that can happen, but I don't know if that's going to be the case, going into 2021. I have not been around long enough to make a judgment on that, but I found this topic to be pretty interesting. And there is a really good, reply in this thread where this one person says, I'm inclined to believe they have no clue what's going on. They don't know like what's causing the crashes and have no idea how to fix it. And honestly, if that is the case, I would rather them come out and say, hey, we don't know what's causing the crashes and we have no idea how to fix it, but we're trying to come up with solutions. I would be totally fine if they came out and said something like that. That wouldn't make me mad at all, because I think something a lot of people forget is like these companies are like they're also human beings. Like they're gonna make mistakes, and they're not always gonna have the answer when we need the answer. And that's probably going to make people stop playing the game for a little bit until they do fix something, and that's okay. But I think it's a little bit naive and just a little short-sighted to think they will have an answer or a fix in our timeline, especially if they have no idea what's causing the crashes. So you have to give the code, like the coding people and the engineers time to figure that stuff out, and I think we all should do that. But that does not mean that they shouldn't communicate with us. They absolutely 100% should. Another post here that says, what do you expect them to say? Actions speak louder than words. Again, I am all for that. Actions do speak louder than words. So we'll see what happens throughout the rest of December and what goes into January into 2021. But guys, that's gonna do it here for Forum Fridays. What do you think about the communication between ZOS and us? Does it need to be more? Does it need to be less? What kinds of things do you want to see them tell us? Because there's a difference. Like, you can have as many, developer posts as you want, but if they're all just gibberish and just general statements, then why communicate? Maybe just wait until you have something of actual substance to say. That's where I land on that. But I want to hear it all from you in the comments down below. Guys, don't forget, if you want to see more Forum Fridays like this, don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Every single Friday, we get a new video regarding what's going on here on the forums, and I want to hear what you guys have to say all the time. I also have a podcast called Scroll Talk. You can find it on Spotify and Google Podcasts. You can also follow us on Twitter at TalkScroll. Follow me on Twitter at NoblePlays ESO, and don't forget, I stream twice a week and upload at least twice a week. So you're gonna always get ESO content from me. But guys, it's gonna do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Noble, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.